Hi everyone, this is Sweta Regmi, streaming live from Canada. I am streaming on LinkedIn today, YouTube, and also the Facebook account. So if you can watch me, drop your comments where you guys are watching me from. It is 11:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in Canada right now. Put your questions there. I plan to be here 10 to 15 minutes. I do have another live guest speaker event going on with the Meller Marketing, where I'd be speaking about how do you bounce back from the layoff as a layoff worker. So I'll be joining there, so be sure to tune that as well. I'll put the link quite shortly for you. And before I hop in today's topic would be why you should not worry about applying online when you see multiple applicant applying there. So if you see more than 100 people or even 500 people applying online, especially on LinkedIn, why you should not worry about it and still proceed on. I want you to take a look at the back end to understand the process. What goes behind the scene when someone's trying to pick your application. So that would be your eye opener. I'm going to give you the high level details on it, and it would be an eye opener for you. Okay. So I get this a lot all the time from candidate, even my client, saying that, I'm so intimidated when I see those applications that I am a right fit, but I see more than 500 people applying for it, and then I just give up. Right? And they just don't proceed on, especially an online platform when you can see how many people have applied and you feel that you have a self-doubt. So you want to make sure that from now on, after watching this back end and why I'm going to share why you should proceed on, you should definitely give it a try. There are some catch though. If you're a right fit, and if your LinkedIn is not fully optimized, and if you're not using the right keyword, if you do not pre-qualify, pre-screening questions, then you're not going to be, fit. And I'm going to show you that bucket that people use, the recruiters or employers when they're hiring it. I'm going to show you the example that I use it personally when hiring for Teaching Do, how I would pick a candidate. So that way you would know that, there are do's and there are don'ts for job seeker when you're applying on LinkedIn. Okay. Let me see who else is watching right now. How many people are watching? Let me see here if there's anything before I begin. All right, so how many people are watching right now? Just to make sure, I don't see anything right now over here. And before I actually, before I forget about this, I'm not sure if you know that I am going to be talking about how do people do the reference check and how do you get over that reference check details. How do you prep yourself to make sure that you get that final offer? I'll be speaking in Access Employment this Monday as well, around 11. I'll be putting a link together later on. Be sure to chime in. That's free for job seekers in Canada and people who are landing in Canada soon. You must know that detail as well. And I'll be also speaking in Career Conference in Toronto Jobs on Wednesday, and I'll be putting a link as well for you. So be sure to come in and join me as well. All right, let's begin. So I'm going to probably share screen with you so that way you understand soon. All right. So now when someone is posting, can you guys hear me fine, guys? Everything is fine? I just don't want to keep on talking. Can someone say yes? I just don't want to keep on talking. Let's see. I just wanted to make sure everyone can see my share screen as well. All right, perfect. I think so. Okay, perfect. All right. Hey, Muga, you're watching me? Perfect. So guys, there's a process when I'm putting through, let's say when I'm putting through someone that I wanted to hire someone within my company, and I would go on LinkedIn and I'll try to put the application together, the job descriptions, right? There are some keywords in there as well. And also there's a skills I can put in. as an employer, I can put 10 skills in there. 10 skills. There's a section I can put 10 skills in there. So that's why it's really important for you to have really optimized LinkedIn, where when I'm looking for people like you, then those 10 skills, that whatever I put it in there, it pops up in my file. So that's a first step, okay? And the second step is make sure that whatever I'm putting in there, there's a knockout question I can put in. That's the initial stage of the applications. And I'm going to show it. System is so smart that it would pick up. So for example, there are a lot of people, they applied who are outside of Canada, despite the fact that I put it in their pre-screening process for me was, are you entitled to work in Canada? And people said yes. Maybe they were entitled, maybe they're landing soon, right? But the system said they're not the fit because the address came back as the international address. So they went into the different bucket. They're a different bucket. ATS does not reject the application, just so you know. It sits in the bucket. Now it's up to me, LinkedIn backend, it does not reject the application. So it sits in the bucket and then it filters you out based on, are you the right fit? Are you not the right fit? Or I can put you on the right fit as well if I want to as an employer. Right? So those are the things that I want you to walk away today. If you know how do you write the resume, and if you know if your LinkedIn is optimized, and if you are well aware of the pre-screening knockout questions, and if you pass that, then you're most likely going to be ending in the fit bucket, where that's where I'm going to go first as an employer and see, okay, who are the right fit? I had probably more than 50 or 100, maybe, I'm not sure, applicant applying for it. But out of that, guess what happened? Only 2 people ended up in the right fit bucket. And that's a reason that you should not worry about not applying for the role, even if you see hundreds of people applying, because if you know what you're doing, if you know how to get around that, to put yourself out there on the fit bucket, you should never worry about how many people are applying. You just need to know how do you write the good resume, optimize the LinkedIn profile, use the right skills. And I teach all of that on my one size does not fit all, by providing full access to what kind of tools I use when I'm actually trying to hire someone, and my client actually gets to see the full process. I walk them through. So now I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek on it, what my clients actually see when I'm actually training them. How do you go about applying it online? Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Say yes. Tell me if you can see my screen. And I'm going to quickly check it as well in there. So that way I am
on a time too. So I know what you're.
Just take a look at it. That's kind of like, that's where the application sits in there. If you can see my screen. Okay, perfect. You can? All right, great. Awesome. All right. So I want you to think about this. When you apply for the role through LinkedIn, and everyone applies, right? LinkedIn is a job seekers platform. You see the job out there, you're like, you know what? That's me, that's for me. And you just go and apply. Some people hit easy apply. I don't recommend you to do that at all. In order for you to fit in the right bucket, make sure you read the right job descriptions. That's where there are the chances that you're going to be ending up on non-fit bucket, right? Even if you're the right person. So always make sure that you actually write the good resume, customize it every time to end up in that bucket, where I, as an employer, go and see you first before I move on to all the bucket. Now, there's a mandate for a big employer to go and see all the applicant, right? They gotta go out there and see, even though they are not the right fit bucket, they can go and see it. But there are people like, they don't have time. There are smaller organizations. They don't have a right tool. They're not going to spend a lot of time to actually see, okay, let me go into the non-fit bucket and find out if there's anything I'm missing, right? So that's why you got to be very, very cautious on writing a good resume and making sure that your LinkedIn profile is fully speaking to that job description's language. Okay. Now let's take a look at this. So when I posted, let's say for SEO optimization analyst, whatever it is, right? So I had the pre-screening questions there. I wanted to make sure that I get someone who's legally entitled to work in Canada. And a lot of people, they ask me, well, why don't you hire from outside? As an employer, I cannot simply go out there and, open the job, posting for people internationally, because there's law in place. I have to make sure that I choose the candidate from the Canadian Labor Board. And if there's a shortage, I can make a case against it. I have to get approved. I have to put so many advertisements together in order for me to hire, someone from outside. And as an employer, I got to follow that step. And I think Muga is watching right now, and Muga, maybe you can chime in as well. What's that process called? I think LMIA or something. If you're watching, put in there. Muga is the immigration consultant. He works in Canada, so he knows a lot about it too. So again, a lot of people come to me and say, well, can I get a job at your company? I can't, because I don't have a sortis. Type of work I do, I don't have a sortis in Canada for me to actually go and recruit someone from outside. So you need to understand that no employer is going to give you the job when they already have a people here, unless you are on that hot job requirement and Canada is missing pool of labor. That's when you might get the offer, but it less likely it's going to happen. You have to go with the formal process. Okay. All right. So the other thing is the screening questions. I want you to take a look at it. So required qualifications, I want to make sure that I'm pre-screening it out. And those people who are not eligible to work in Canada, they actually filtered out on a NonFit bucket. That's what I have. So preferred qualifications, you know what? I can put that as well. So as an employer, I can say, I only want to work with people who have 1 to 2 years of experience, or I need more than 5 years of experience, right? That's something you don't see it on your end. It's me to actually pre-screen you out because I want what I want. So that's this filter, pre-knocked out questions that you must pass to come into my fit bucket. And then how many, things like that, I can put it as much as I want to. I can put if you are on a visa, I can put if you're entitled to work in Canada, I can even put the address, I can put license, I can put certifications. Sky's the limit. I can knock you out. And, remember that when you're applying, if you're asked how many years of experience you have, start thinking, okay, well, would this go back to the job descriptions and take a look at it and say, what is the requirement? If you don't meet that requirement, it's highly unlikely that you can be called for interview. And that's when you got to come up with the strategy. How do you address that in cover letter? How do you address that by speaking to the hiring manager? Hey, I applied, but you know what? I probably am missing this. What are your thoughts on it? And the other day I posted about the certifications is not needed unless it's regulated. That's when you feel like when the job description says requirement is the certifications, you don't want to apply if you don't have a certifications. But if it says certification would be an asset, you might want to apply for it, but then reach out to the hiring manager for information interview saying that, I bring this. Do you think, you would give the preference to the other people who have certifications who do not have experience versus I have so many experience and I don't have a certificate, but I'm willing to obtain it if it's something that you're willing to, provide within the company, whatever, right? So there are some techniques you can apply that I teach within my job search strategy class. So don't be discouraged on a job descriptions if it says, you need to have it versus it's an asset. There's two different things they're talking about. Does that make sense, guys? All right. So the other screen I'm going to show you is, so over here, look at it. I can rate it. There's a rating, which is fit bucket, non-fit bucket. And I can also pull the application based on locations. And it comes out Canada, Toronto, years of experience. I can filter people out with that. You guys can see it. Okay, so now see the good fit, maybe not a fit. And these are all the people they applied. And I can pull it. If I don't have a time, I normally go and look at everything. But if I don't have a time, I can just go to good fit and just take a look at it and say, okay, I'm just going to now call 5 people from this bucket, right? I don't have to go and interview everybody, and I can send them a reason. I can also automate my email. I don't have to call them, automate my email saying that, okay, well, you didn't meet, we've decided to go with someone else. I don't even have to manually do it. It's already plugged into the system and it just gets sent out after 7 days. days. And I have a preference if I want to, wait until 3 days or 7 days. So those are the email you're getting from employer if you're not the right fit. And those are most likely the automated one. And, you would feel like, oh, I'm rejected. You're not rejected. You're in the system yet, system still. I cannot reject you, but the email is a rejection saying that you did not fit the criteria, right? And there's a line of pray, I can't say that on email why you're not the fit, but someone comes back to me saying that, can you please explain? I have provided that feedback why I was looking for this. And you know what? You did not meet that requirement. That's the reason we sent out the rejection email. Reach out to people and it doesn't hurt if they can provide you feedback so you can move on. Sometimes it's not your fault. It's just someone else out there who's better with the experience, right? So this was the, let's say, knockout question. So when I'm looking at people, I'm definitely looking at the experience level. I'm also looking at, experience in particular industry. I can put all the knockout questions and filter you out as an employer. So it's really, really important for you to look at the job descriptions before you apply and look at those knockout questions and pass that for you to fit into the bucket. Hope that makes it very clear that you should not be intimidated if you know how to do the job. And if you meet the requirement, you just need to make sure you modify your approach and customize it. So let's see here. The other thing is, and I can also get the email, I can download the, the resume, and then I can also get it to my HR inbox as well. And I can go from there and my HR can manually go and reach out to the people as well, right? So, and it gets to our system. I don't have to log in on LinkedIn all the time. Everything, it gets to the HR inbox and people can dissect it and reach out manually as well. And that's when you know that human beings have actually looked into it. And if they want to proceed with the interview, then they go with the interview. So now, one of the example, not a fit, right? Let's say, look at the example. The person applied, was not in Canada. The person did say, are you legally authorized to work in Canada? Person said no, automatically it's not a fit. That's how the system is set up. Is it making sense to you guys at all? Looking at the back-end system. So this is the email on the right-hand side, my right-hand side, you can see this is the email, you get it. This is the automated email that presets it. And then, it gets sent out after 7 days or something like that. This is what you're looking at when you're getting email from employer. So as soon as you're not a fit, I can just plug that email out automatically. It just does its job. Okay, perfect. So it's making sense now. All right, so again, look, this is what happened. So one of the examples, you know how I put the filter in there and I said, well, only person working in Canada. So that's what happened. So the person says, yes, the person said legally authorized to work in Canada, but look at the address, Tunisia, not Canada. So automatically not a fit. So you cannot play with the system. But then again, there are some hacks that I teach within my job search strategy class. How do you get ahead of the game? There is a hack that you can use it to make sure you end up in the bucket. I teach all of that in my one size, does not fit all. And then I do have option to change that not a fit to the fit if I really like the candidate and just find out, hey, are you in Canada? Are you landing? When are you landing? I could potentially go manual and then talk to that candidate if I really, really like their profile. All right, so now look at the system, right? In a good fit and in a not a fit automations, look at the example of it. This is what you're working with it when you're a job seeker. Everything is done for you. As an employer, I save so much time to go and do manual things. So once I post a job, then it gets done. And all I got to do is look at the bucket and start screening candidate out. And if I like someone, I proceed with the interview. Is it making sense, guys? So this is what I would get, right? Like, this is the email I get at my HR inbox. And, every time someone submits the applications, I can go and download the resume. And then I can also see the full applications by accessing their LinkedIn profile as well. So it's really handy. So that's where it comes in, why the resume and LinkedIn is not matching up. So that's when I'd be questioning it. Well, the LinkedIn says one thing, but the resume says the other thing. I'm like, okay, why is that? So you got to make sure that resume and LinkedIn go hand in hand, because that's your personal branding, right? And when people are searching the Boolean search, this is how the recruiter searches you. You can probably see it's tiny bit, but there's so many ways that recruiter are searching for you by using those Boolean keyword. And then, there's so many ways they're finding you on LinkedIn. And I teach all of that in my LinkedIn class. So by the way, I am accepting applications for February. One size does not fit all. I only work with limited amount of people at time. It's personal one-to-one customized sessions. If you're interested, you can DM me, message me. I have open message. And if you are in Canada, especially, you're landing soon, I'd love to work with you together, but you have to qualify on my program. You got to be career professionals. And if you have challenges writing that resume versus LinkedIn and everything, I can definitely help you. With that being said, guys, let's see here. What else? All those Boolean search. All right. That actually stops my share screen. How do you guys feel after this? How do you guys feel? It's a lot of information to take it, but go back and see how you can go and now change the strategy. So do not be alarmed. When you see over 100 people applying, if you know what you're doing, if your LinkedIn is fully done properly, and if your brand is out there, and if you know how to write the resume, you should have no problem. But having said that, it's not only about resume, it's not only about optimizing your LinkedIn, right? It's all about the whole thing together, job search strategy, reaching out to the right people. You should never wait for job posting. You should already have built-in connections. And I teach all of that. How do you do it in an effective way? All right, guys, other than that, let me see. So Abhishek, I have everything on a website, teachingdo.com. Everything is listed there. You can go and see all the prices and everything like that. I do customized training for all of you. There's no group session with me. It's just one-to-one customized based on your industry, and we work together as a team, just you and me together on online sessions. That's it. Now, we also have a YouTube channel. If you wanted to look for free resources, you can find us there as well. Also, we have free resources, by the way, uploaded at teachingdo.com. I'm going to put the link in there later on. It's in free resources sections, and there's a downloadable file for you, 2 of them right now. We're going to put more in there. There are a lot of job links in Canada, including the remote work, internship, including there's an immigration link as well, pre-arrival information, all bunch of it. Go ahead and download it. It's free. And also there's the other one, if you're landing in Canada, pre-arrival, information, what you should know, and after landing in Canada, what you should do. There's a link in there, a downloadable PDF file. You can go and download. There's no fee. It's for a limited time. Go and download now. And I'm going to put the link a little bit later on, but here's the website. I don't know if you can see. teachingdo.com. You can go onto my file and take a look at it. Again, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions after this, ask me. I have open message, and I'd be more than happy to answer all those questions you have. Bye-bye, and have yourself a fantastic weekend. Bye, guys.